It's been a long break. We've all been waiting. We've all been deserving of a 2024 British Truck Racing Championship. That's right. We're here with the grand opening of the season here at Brands Hatch. Let's go racing. So here we are down in the truck paddock, the outer ring, as they call it down here at Brands Hatch, with a new face to me, but some of you avid followers might recognise this man from a little while ago. David Smith, how are we?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, glad to be back.
Yeah, so you say back. So let's just get to that bit first of all. When did you last find yourself on a circuit for the British Truck Racing?
The last circuit I think was Silverstone back in 2016.
Wow.
In a Sisu. So yeah, this is a bit of a step up. 8-year gap coming back.
What was the deciding factor? Where were you just sat up in bed one morning and went, I'm going back to truck racing?
I think truck racing, once it's in your blood, you never leave it. It's family, really. My eldest boy does the digital challenge, BTRC.
Oh, okay, cool.
So the truck we're running now is exactly the same as what he's running in the ETRC. So it was driven by...
It's literal reality from a computer game.
Exactly that, yeah. It's a family thing. So we just thought we'd mirror the truck, we'd come back, have another go.
And setup-wise, I mean, have you owned the truck for a while? Have you bought it just for this, or what's the backstory there?
We bought the truck off of Ryan Smith back in November, so we haven't had it that long. A lot of hard work to get it to as it is now. So yeah, totally new. I think I've had probably half hour in the seat. So yeah.
So nothing like flying by the seat of your pants. And where did we qualify this morning?
I think I done a 102, but that got disqualified track limits. So
they are hot on the track limits this weekend. That's going to catch a lot of people out.
They are. So I actually qualified last, but we're hoping to make up a bit of ground in the first race. But it's early days. See how we go.
Views on the Division 2, Division 1 single pack idea for this weekend. Do you think it's going to be an interesting advantage for some drivers, or do you think it's going to hold some people up?
To be fair, looking at the lap times this morning, I know I qualified last, and I'm Div 1.
Before you were disqualified, after you were disqualified, rather, yeah.
No, to be fair, I think the quality of the driving now, the drivers have been doing it a long time, so actually the gap between 1 and 2 is not so big now. Years ago, yeah, it would have been a problem, but no, I think now it's probably a good thing, definitely.
Well, look, Mr. Smith, welcome back to the British Truck Racing Championship. It's fantastic to have you here. We hope you have a fantastic first race and a brilliant season ahead. I'm sure we'll get a chance to speak to you again.
Cheers, Pointy. Thank you.
Cheers, Dave. Thank you very much. Right, let's go and have a look who else we can find down here in the British Truck Racing paddock. So here we are then, interviewing Mr. Paul Rivett, the current champion, last year's Division 2 champion. How's that, Phil?
Oh, it's an amazing feeling, yeah. First, obviously, truck championship win, and it was just mega. And, we played catch-up the whole year last year, and to get this Napa Racing UK truck to the front just when it counted, right at the end, even on points, but that gave us the win with our 18 race wins. So.
Now rewind 12 months, and you'd already got through 2-3 gearboxes at this point in the weekend, prior to race 1, in a slightly better situation this year?
Yeah, definitely so, yeah. We'd had hardly any free practice last year. We missed qualifying, we missed the first race. This year we're kicking off on the right foot, that's for sure.
So we've had the post-winter shakedown. Are you much testing done on it since last year, or?
Yeah, yesterday.
Brilliant. Well, this is fresh in your mind.
Yeah, that's it. The thing is...
I don't remember this corner.
Yeah. Home circuit for me here at Brands, so I absolutely love the place. And I used to work at the race school here, and I've done thousands and thousands of laps around this place. So it's I know it like the back of my hand.
And I tell you what, I don't know whether anybody else out there notices this, but since you guys have been, because I know obviously they've got Clios, they've got touring cars, but since you've been involved in this sport, I've been seeing Napa delivery vans all over the place, and I'm like, I'd never noticed them before, but they've obviously been there.
Do you know, everybody says that as well, and you literally Napa, they're taking over the parts world, and it's great to see as well. And what a nice company, what a nice bunch of people as well. So it's such a pleasure to be part of it all. It really is.
And what a lovely colour scheme.
It is as well, with white on as well this year. Stands out
just
even
a splash,
more.
Just a splash.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm in. Haven't got my new race suit yet at the moment. That was stuck in customs at the moment.
So. It's too small. They got him a smaller one because he was going on a diet over winter, but it didn't work out.
I
did go on a diet.
You did, yeah. It was just a seafood niche. Paul, look, thanks for joining us. It's fantastic to have you back, and great luck in the coming season.
Thank you very much.
Cheers for joining us. Right, Paul Rivett, ladies and gentlemen, let's go and see who else we can find. Right then, continuing the theme with reigning champions, I'm here, of course, with the Division 1 reigning champion of 8 consecutive years. Am I right with that one?
Yes, 8.
8. Just double checking, wanting to make sure. 8 years, and are we here to make it 9? Too early perhaps to say, but let's be honest, you're here for a reason.
Very early to say, but look, we all have ambition, we all want to win, you know, but there's all the other competitors here that have the same ambition, so, you know, we will keep doing what we're doing, and we'll see where we are mid-season, and I believe the fight's going to be difficult. It always is, and you know, everyone I've spoke to in the championship are relit, and I think they've had a good refresh over the winter, you know, and there'll be some serious competitors. And if I look through qualifying, if you look at like John Bowler and stuff, people are going well.
Yeah, there's a very interesting mix that you wouldn't naturally come to expect in that top 5, top 6, would you?
No, and it's good to see, and it's healthy. And look, I think it's clear that the championship's on a bit of a transition period, but Truck Sport for me have done a fantastic job. The aim will be working with all the other teams that are doing other things at the moment, but throughout the season I think it's clear that we're all competitors, but as a championship we're all one family.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that we stick together and support each other on and off track.
No, it's true. I mean, we were at the drivers' briefing together last night, obviously, and there was quite a good vibe in the room, you know, quite a good energy, and I think to have that, you know, especially at a drivers' briefing, I think it shows the kind of mentality that people are in this year.
And with the regulation changes, this is going to sound serious, but it's making the sport more professional.
Yes, yeah, there are necessary changes that have been made, aren't they?
You feel like a racing driver when you come to these events. All the fans that you can see, they get to meet us. And I think everyone's done a good job, and you know, we just got to have some good racing on track, and hopefully the baby stays healthy. And yeah, we would love to get a 9th. That's the ambition. My fire's still burning from the first one that I won, and truck racing's very addictive, and if you're in, you're in. But no, I love it.
Well, it's fantastic to have you back, Ryan. The truck looks absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the new colour scheme, that's one thing that you've been quite renowned for over the last few years, isn't it? You've always come out of that winter break with a new paint job, like, whoa, what have we got this year?
I always say it's like buying a good mood. You have the same livery every year, and it's a bit flat. It's like being married, isn't it?
Yeah. Change your hair every now and again.
Yeah, and we dress it up different, you know. It'll be different again, and that's who we are, and we just like to change the style up. And I mean, I look at Oliver's trucks and I think they look fantastic.
The primer grey looks wicked, doesn't it? Very in right now, yeah.
Nada grey, is it? But it looks, I think both of the Michael's and Stewart's truck looks amazing, but everybody's up the game again, everybody's up the equipment, and we're in for a good fight. And obviously for the first time in a few years we get to go to Le Mans, because obviously Nürburgring, so it's exciting times for the British truck racing.
Very excited to get on that ferry again. I never thought I'd say that, but it is quite something to look forward to, isn't it?
We're going to drive over with paddles with this. No, looking forward to it. It'll be a cracking event, and we look forward to a good solid year.
Excellent. Well, Ryan, thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming back. Watch this space, ladies and gentlemen. Will he make it 9 years? He's off to finish his lunch now. That's what's important, because a driver races on his stomach. Thanks for joining us down here in Parc Fermé. Sorry, the paddock. It's not Parc Fermé yet. They've not done anything yet. They don't deserve a Parc Fermé. But we will come and find you in Parc Fermé later on. Oh, I don't know. I've been back like one day and I'm already getting things wrong. Anyway, enjoy some racing, and we'll see you very soon. I'll hand over to Dave Goddard now in the tower with the eye in the sky. Dave?
Well, Pointy's certainly back to his best form, isn't he, as the Caterhams complete their qualifying session. The Sigma 150 just heading back to the paddock. Harry Cook, the quickest man in that session. It was a tale of two Harrys in the Sigma 150 Championship last year. That was Harry Kramer in the red number 121 car, and his great rival last season, of course, was Harry Senior, who ended up taking the title. But it's Harry Cook, another Harry, who's taking pole position for their first race. That's taking place tomorrow. And then we will bring on the big rigs very shortly. The British Truck Racing Championship, as we've already heard from Flying Ryan Smith, going for an incredible 9th consecutive Division 1 title this year. Opening here at Brands Hatch, as they always do. every year on Easter weekend. They go to Pembrey in May in South Wales, then it's a Thruxton at the beginning of July in Hampshire, the big weekend at Donington Park, the Convoy weekend in August, then September it's Snetterton over in Norfolk. A couple of weeks after that, as you heard from Ryan Smith there, it's the trip to Le Mans in France, arguably the most famous motorsport venue certainly in Europe, along with the Nürburgring. I'm sure a few British drivers will be racing at the Nürburgring, quite a few Brits taking part in the European Championship this year. And then it's Bonfire Weekend to close the season, back here at Brands Hatch for Trucks and Fireworks on November the 2nd and 3rd. So the formats, if you've not seen truck racing before, 15 points for a win, 14 for second, 13 for third, and so on downwards in each division. We've got 9 competitors in Division 1 this weekend and 3 in Division 2. Hopefully grid sizes are going to go up as the season goes on, with new trucks being prepared. The first race, the grid decided by the times in qualifying. Race 2, the grid decided by the second fastest time for each truck in the qualifying session this morning. And the subsequent races depend on the results of races 1 and 2, with the top 8 in each division being flipped around. So we'll see the grid formats used similarly to last year. The difference this year is the divisions don't line up on separate grids. We don't split Division 1 and 2 on the grid. I think it's just going to be the overall top 8 that get flipped around, so that we could see Division 2 trucks lining up ahead of Division 1s in the grids for this year. So we're almost ready to get going then, just awaiting the trucks to be brought out on track. There's one of Trackside Recovery's vehicles just getting into position at the end of the pit lane. They're getting help from Ito and Mick Gould Recovery. They've got one of their big American trucks here this weekend, as we often see at Brands Hatch when the trucks are in town. Now, thanks to all the partners of the British Truck Racing Championship for 2024, TRP Parts, all makes of truck and trailer parts, T Tyres, Dines Motor Group, MV Commercial, that's led by Tom O'Rourke. He's debuting a new truck this weekend, we'll see shortly. Total Care Vehicle Lifts and Testing Equipment, Sylvie Fleet Management, BWOC Fuels, offering renewable diesel and carbon neutral fuel to their customers. Stuart Oliver might be calling them up, the 10-time champion. He had a fuel leak in qualifying this morning. Transport Monitoring Solutions, Truck and Driver Magazine and Freyhof Trailers, the championship partners. And also the championship has teamed up with mental health charity Man Up this year to raise awareness of mental health among men. Remember, mental health problems, it's okay to talk, it's okay not to be okay. There are people to listen out there. Very worthy partnership indeed. So we'll wait for the trucks to appear. I can hear engines over in the paddock on the outside of Paddock Hill Bend that we're looking at now, the famous roller coaster of a first corner here at Brands Hatch. It's not until you walk round the Indy circuit here at Brands Hatch you realise just how steep the inclines are. At the Formula Ford Festival a couple of years ago, I was able to walk a lap of the track when racing had finished for the day. And it is a real plunge down Paddock Hill Bend, then up Halewood Rise and into the Druids hairpin. Tricky to get round in a car, that's hairpin, never mind in a truck. Then to drop down the hill and into the left-hander, you can see centre left of your picture there, that's Graham Hill Bend, or Bottom Bend as the drivers call it, at the bottom of the hill. Then along the Cooper Straights and round through Surtees and McLaren, past the turn-off of the Grand Prix circuit, and then through the long right-hander at Clearways into Clark Curve and the end of the lap on this fairly short layout, the Indy circuit at Brands Hatch in Kent to the east of London. While we wait for the trucks to come out, so a word from one of our sponsors here on this Brands Hatch weekend. So a quick word from one of the championship partners there. As we get ready to get underway, we'll give you the grid once the trucks are out on track. Thanks to those of you who have commented so far. A few of our comments on the stream. Hello to James, says, come on, Oliver Racing, father and son Stuart and Michael Oliver. Got 1 or 2 viewers from the USA as well, that's good to see. Quick hello to Carl and Holly Brownsell. You may have seen them with their fundraising efforts last year, cycling laps of the UK circuits. They're taking on a new challenge this year, Carl and Holly. Of course, raising money last year for the My Name's Doddy Foundation for motor neurone disease. This year, Carl tells us that they'll be cycling the Isle of Man TT circuit for the Rob Vine motorsport charity based over in the Isle of Man. Tough enough getting around the Isle of Man circuit on a motorcycle, never mind on bicycles. That's a brave effort indeed. Best of luck to Carl and Holly. Hopefully we'll see them around the truck paddock this year as well. Here come the big rigs then, and it's no surprise to see that Flying Ryan Smith has taken pole position for this first race of the season. He was the only man to lap under 1 minute in the qualifying session. Qualifying was delayed a little, as we say, because Stuart Oliver had a fuel leak in his truck, which had to be cleared up. He only lines up down in 6th. It's Flying Ryan in the Daimler Freightliner on pole, alongside his great rival David Jenkins in the number 69 MAN. Second row, number 14, John Bowler. Good effort by him, his second season in Division 1 with his MAN, alongside Michael Oliver. He's out-qualified his father Stuart, who lines up alongside number 3, Stephen Powell, the local man. New livery for him this year on his MAN. Fourth row, the new truck, the International Navistar of Tom O'Rourke, the Scotsman, the MV commercial truck. He lines up alongside the first of the Division 2s. That's reigning champion Paul Rivette in his MAN. Row 5, number 6, John Powell in his DAF. That's the oldest truck on the grid, alongside number 33, Neil Yates, the recovery company boss, teammate of Stephen Powell this year. And completing the grid, number 41, Simon Cole in the Pink Panther, as his Iveco is known. And welcome back David Smith, first truck meeting for almost 8 years in the ex-Ryan Smith MAN. No relation, incidentally, those two. David Smith was Division 2 champion some 12 years ago. As we heard, last raced in a Sisu Finnish-built truck some 8 years ago. There's the Pink Panther, Simon Cole making his way to the grid. There's David Smith at the back on his return to the sports. So the pace truck leading them up to line up on the grid then before we have a rolling start. It'll be a 15-minute race, the first of 5 races this weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. A few more of our commenters. Peter H says, shout out to all the marshals. Yes, the Orange family as we call them. We couldn't go racing without them. Out there in all weathers, making sure everything is safe and able to race. Hi to Matt Davies, Mike Burgess, Aaron Lupton, Ethan Dance, Alex Raby, and all our other commenters here this weekend. Thank you very much indeed. Do give the stream a like and help to spread our coverage this year. So it's the TRP Truck and Trailer Parts DAF that's in position as our pace truck for this first race of the season. 1 or 2 new trucks, new liveries. You can see a new livery, as we heard mentioned, the Team Oliver Racing trucks, Michael and Stuart, in grey and yellow this year, not the black and yellow that we saw last season. Stephen Powell in the colours of Neil Yates Recovery this season. He's ditched the yellow livery from last year, the man who lives literally just down the road from Brands Hatch. Slight changes in livery for David Jenkins and Paul Rivette in their MANs. New colours for John Powell as well, number 6. The blue and red has gone, a very menacing looking black and green livery for him. Quick hello to Caitlin Penny as well, top sim racing commentator. Robbie Gascoigne says, are these standing or rolling start? It will be a rolling start for the trucks and the pickups. Everything else will be a standing start. If you've not seen truck racing before, you have a real treat coming up. These trucks powered by 12 and 13 litre turbocharged engines running on sustainable fuel, as you've already seen. It was Adam Bint who pioneered the use of that HVO fuel in the championship. He's competing on the continent this year, as are quite a few British drivers. The Reed brothers will be competing in the Netherlands and Belgium this year, as will Ricky Collett, the Yorkshire-based veteran, the heavy haulage company owner. John Newell, I believe, is contesting the European Championship once again. And Adam Bint has gone to race on the continent as well. Hopefully we'll see them make a comeback in the British Championship later this year. I'm sure some of them will come back for the Convoy weekend, the big weekend at Donington Park in August. Ricardo asking where is Division 2? Well, the two divisions are combined on the grid this year. They lined up over the last few years from split grids, with Division 2 starting behind Division 1, but they're running on a combined grid this year. Should make things a little bit more interesting, especially with Paul Rivett, the reigning Division 2 champion, in there. Took the title on a tie-break with Adam Bint, if I remember rightly, last year. They will be competing for separate points, just not starting from separate grids. 30-second board has been held aloft then, and the pace truck moves away. Here we go then, the first of 5 truck races this weekend, the first of what's going to be a very busy season for the big rigs around the UK and beyond, as they race at Le Mans this year as well on the Bugatti circuit. There's that new truck of 86 Tom O'Rourke, the bonneted International Navistar. Very similar in appearance to Ryan Smith's truck on pole. Will it be as effective? I cannot wait for this season to get underway. Can Ryan Smith make it 9 Division 1 titles in a row? He's made no secret of the fact he wants to beat Stuart Oliver's record of 10 titles in the UK. Stuart, a former European champion as well. He's repaired that fuel leak. There he is, the number 7 on the outside of row 3. You have a popular Simon Cole in the Pink Panther, the Iveco, in Division 2. Pace truck leads them down the hill into Graham Hill Bend. Very tricky left-hander. It's along the Cooper Straits behind the race control tower. The sun starts to come out here at Brands Hatch. Tension beginning to mount. This will be a 15-minute race. Big rigs ready to rumble here on the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, the first race of the 2024 British Truck Racing Championship. Ryan Smith and David Jenkins, great rivals for so many years, leads them round. Paul Rivett, the pace setter in Division 2 in qualifying, ahead of John Powell and Simon Cole. Pace truck about to pull into pit lane. Over 12,000 horsepower about to be unleashed from these turbo diesel engines. Waiting for the red lights to go out. Here they come up towards the line. The pack about to be unleashed. It's time to go racing here at Brands Hatch on this Easter Sunday afternoon. Waiting, waiting, and here we go. The pack is unleashed down towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Decent start by Ryan Smith. David Jenkins trying to go around the outside of him. John Bowler tucks in behind in the blue and red, number 14. Are they all going to make it round Paddock Hill Bend? Looks like they are. Up the hill they come for the first time. Still nothing between Jenkins and Ryan Smith for the lead. Smith will have the inside line for Druids. He'll take up the lead running. Third place in number 14 is John Bowler, trying to force his way through on the inside. The local man Stephen Powell alongside Michael Oliver. They've all made it round so far. Michael Oliver will have the inside line for Graham Hill Bend. Stephen Powell has to go wide. Oliver up into 4th place. And the two bonneted trucks side by side. A decent start by Tom O'Rourke, the Scotsman, up alongside Stuart Oliver. But it's Ryan Smith who sets the pace from Jenkins. John Bowler in 3rd. He had 1 win last season at Thruxton, his first Division 1 victory. Stuart Oliver back ahead of Tom O'Rourke as they move their way through Clearways and Clark Kerr. This long double right-hander up towards the start-finish straight to complete the first lap of the season. Ryan Smith already in the clear ahead of David Jenkins, over a second ahead. They've all made it round the first lap okay. There's a change for the lead in Division 2 because John Powell has got round the outside of the newer MAN of Paul Rivett. John Powell in the DAF, the Dutch-built machine, takes up the lead of Division 2. Neil Yates has dropped to the back. David Smith, the number 11, on his return in there ahead of Simon Cole. The two Division 2 pace setters ahead of a couple of the Division 1s, so the group's already mixing nicely. There's Tom O'Rourke down the hill. It is John Powell, a new livery for him this year, the black and green RSM and Midland Caliper Centre sponsored DAF. Heads the Division 2 pack. Out in front is Ryan Smith from Jenkins, Bowler, Michael Oliver. Then in 5th position is Stephen Powell, then Stuart Oliver, Tom O'Rourke in 7th. Division 2 lead battle 8th and 9th overall at the end of the second lap, ahead of David Smith in his first truck race since 2016. Over the line they go, the lead gap has doubled. Ryan Smith's just done a 58.524. That's considerably quicker than his pole position time. His pole position was a 59.5, so he's gone a full second quicker than his pole lap on that second lap of the race. Stephen Powell, number 3, runs a pub just down the road from Brands Hatch, coming under fire from the number 7 of Stuart Oliver, the 10-time British, 1-time European champion. New sponsors and a new livery for the number 7 and the number 12 this year. Sponsored by Tahuna Honey and GT Tyres. David Jenkins clear in second ahead of John Bowler, who's coming under a bit of pressure from Oliver Jr. Michael Oliver had 1 win last year. That was at Pembrey, if I remember rightly, in South Wales. Stephen Powell failed to win last year. He's had just 1 win in his Division 1 career. That was 2 years ago at Thruxton. He celebrated like he just won the championship when he took that victory. He's a former Division 2 champion. He's holding off Stuart Oliver, who might be lining him up for a move on this next lap. Lead gap is 2.4 seconds between Ryan Smith and David Jenkins. I can't remember the last time Ryan Smith wasn't leading the Division 1 championship. Stuart Oliver's all over Stephen Powell, but overtaking tricky here at Brands Hatch, and this is allowing Tom O'Rourke's new machine to close in as well. Down the hill towards the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. This is the battle for 5th position. Still Division 2 is led by John Powell further back in the number 6. There he is, the black truck, just ahead of Paul Rivette's MAN. Simon Cole a bit further back, and Tom O'Rourke's lost it, coming through Surtees there. He got sideways, and Tom O'Rourke, I think, has spun the 86. Did he gather that back up again? No, he's on the grass there. You can just see him on the top left of the picture. He's trying to get going again, but is he beached on the grass? There is O'Rourke. It's a new truck. He's churning up the grass. Motorsport Vision, the owners of this circuit, won't like that. Tom O'Rourke is our first spinner of the season, but he's got it going again. The new regulations for this year allow for a virtual safety car, effectively, or virtual safety truck, you might say, to be used when there is an incident, instead of the red flags automatically coming out. That means less loss of track time. Look at this challenge for the lead in Division 2 there, but Paul Rivette was left on the outside coming through Druids. And John Powell still holds the lead. Division 2 for the slightly less modified, less powerful trucks. They can certainly match their Division 1 counterparts. They're ahead of David Smith. Simon Cole is Division 2, he's next. Then Neil Yates, who made his debut midway through last season, had a huge accident at Thruxton in his only his second meeting, but bounced back to race again at the end of the season. This is the fight for 3rd place. John Bowler going well. He won that race at Thruxton where Neil Yates crashed out. Chased by Michael Oliver, the man from Hexham in Northumberland. Certainly proven a match for his father on occasions. Ryan Smith continues to set the pace. He's 3¼ seconds clear now of David Jenkins. A further 4 seconds back in 3rd is John Bowler, or is he? Because Michael Oliver had a good look there down the inside into Graham Hill Bend. Not easy to get through there. Bowler goes wide over the curves. This is Michael Oliver's opportunity. He's up alongside the 14, absolutely together as they go towards Surtees. Can he get the move done before the track swings back to the right? Yes, he can. Good driving by Michael Oliver up into P3, ahead of John Bowler. 5th is still Stephen Powell ahead of Stuart Oliver. Stuart not able to make his way through. And then we've got the Division 2 battle further back. What can Stuart Oliver do? He'll have seen his son make that move for 3rd place on John Bowler. He's thinking, well, if he can overtake, then so can I. But can he get past Stephen Powell? Plunge through Paddock Hill up Palewood Rise into Druids Bend. Oliver positioning himself. You can see he's positioning himself on the outside there, because that means he'll try and get the inside for the left-hander coming up, but Stephen Powell says, no, you're not. Moves across and takes the line, coming out of Druids down to Graham Hill. Stuart Oliver getting frustrated, no doubt, in there. Lead gap is now nearly 4 seconds. Ryan Smith ahead of David Jenkins, so it's as you were in 2023 at the front of the field. David Smith running a little bit wide there, coming off Graham Hill bend over the curbs. Tom O'Rourke, I can tell you, is still going at the back of the field after his spin, and now Stuart Oliver's got a run on Stephen Powell, coming through clearways, up alongside the number 3. They're absolutely together, but Stuart Oliver's got the inside line. He's going through, finally gets the move done, and up into 5th position. A little bit of bodywork flapping on the left-hand side of Stephen Powell's MAN. The Neil Yates recovery, Alco and Dine sponsor machine. He dodges across to the outside. Now he's going to try and get the line going down into Graham Hill bend. Doesn't get alongside Stuart Oliver. They've effectively split into pairs in this race. Smith and Jenkins at the front, then Oliver and Michael Oliver and John Bowler, and Stuart Oliver and Stephen Powell. Then we've got the battle in Division 2. There's 1.2 seconds in it between John Powell and Paul Rivette. Just behind them is David Smith. So that's 3 together. Here they come. Stephen Powell trying to move back up onto the rear axle of Stuart Oliver, but the Volvo is getting away, the Volvo VNL. 8 laps in the book for Ryan Smith. He's over 5 seconds clear now. There he is. We've hardly seen him all race long. Fastest lap of the race, 58.524. As we said, that's a full second quicker than his pole time, almost 75 miles per hour average around Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. And when you consider that these trucks are electronically limited to 100 miles an hour, of course on the road they were restricted to 56, that is pretty impressive from Ryan Smith. David Jenkins a bit sideways there, coming off Graham Hill bend. And Smith in the worldwide truck racing run, Northside Truck and Van sponsored Daimler Freightliner, the man from Mansfield in Nottinghamshire. David Jenkins behind him comes from Stafford. John Powell from Tonbridge in Kent, under intense pressure now for the Division 2 lead from Paul Rivette, the former saloon car star, a multi-champion in the Renault Clio Cup UK. And a couple of goes in the British Touring Car Championship as well. He's really trying there as they come into clearways, but he's outbraked himself there. He's run wide. Thought he was going to go wide over the curbs and onto the gravel there, Paul Rivette. He had to get the brakes on that Napa-sponsored MAN. Still allowing David Smith to close in. 9th overall, 7th in Division 1 on his return to racing. It was back in 2012 that David Smith won the Division 2 title. John Bowler coming under fire now for 4th place from Stuart Oliver. Recovering from getting a bit boxed in behind Stephen Powell at the starts. Recovering from those problems in qualifying where he dumped quite a lot of fuel on the circuit, unfortunately. Thankfully that was repaired by the Oliver team. It's closing here on John Powell, John Bowler rather, the number 14, comes from Stockport in Cheshire. Former Division 2 race winner, made the move into Division 1 last season. Oliver a little bit sideways there, he's got a wheel onto the curb. All 12 trucks still going strong. Tom O'Rourke quite a way behind. He's over 11 seconds off Simon Cole at the back of the field after his spin earlier on. Ryan Smith, you just glimpse him there in the background going through Graham Hill bend. Nearly 6.5 seconds clear of David Jenkins now. Jenkins having a fairly lonely race because he's 8.5 seconds clear of Michael Oliver. One driver who isn't having a lonely time of things though is John Bowler in 4th. He's under real pressure now from Stuart Oliver. There's Jenkins, the Digraph Transport Morris Lubricants MAN. He only had a couple of wins last year. It was a fairly quiet season for Jenkins. His father, Tony Jenkins, was a truck racer before him and also raced in the Isle of Man TT on a motorcycle a few times. Tony Jenkins, the man who used to race the American Mack tractor unit in the British Championship. Not seen an American truck for many years now, apart from the Volvo Whites. Last man to race a Volvo White tractor unit was Brian Burks, the man from the West Country. I think that was the one he rolled over at Thruxton. Most famous American truck to race, of course, was back in the late 80s. The great Richard Walker raced his Kenworth in the European Championship, which was written off at Zolder when he piled into the back of Gert Korber's MAN. Just over 3 minutes to go now in this 15-minute race. Ryan Smith looking as safe as usual out in front. Stuart Oliver's still all over the back of John Bowler. Tries to get a run on him coming into clearways. Can he get the cut back here into Clark Curve? He's going to try it down the Sir Jack Brabham straights. Here he comes. Stuart Oliver's got it exactly right there coming out of clearways, and he's going to get that 4th place away. Up towards Paddock Hill Bend. Stuart Oliver takes 4th position. This race result will decide the grid for race 3. See how that turns out. The top 8 will be reversed. Now, if it's the top 8 in each division like it used to be, it would have been Neil Yates on pole. But if it's top 8 overall, you can see from our timing tower, it will be Paul Rivett and John Powell who will take the front row. And Paul Rivett only a couple of tenths now behind John Powell. He is all over the back of the DAF. Just can't quite find a way through. John Powell took the lead at the end of the first lap from Paul Rivett, who won the title on that tiebreak in terms of most race wins from Adam Bint last season. MN sponsored by Napa Auto Parts and Tachosys, the tachograph company. So all these trucks, like road-going lorries, have to be fitted with a tachograph to record their performance, a bit like a black box. Never mind that though, because Paul Rivett gets a run on the inside. There's contact. Round goes John Powell. And we have our first tangle of the season. They both go off. Now, where's Simon Cole? Cole could get through here. John Powell's the first to recover. Can Simon Cole get through, though? Because if he's close enough, he could take the lead of Division 2. No, he's not. They've got going again ahead of him. Well, good recovery by those two. And now Paul Rivett is almost pushing John Powell as they recover. Bit of steam and smoke coming off John Powell. So whether he's got some damage there, that's possible. You can see the right rear corner got a hit there from Paul Rivett. Bit of bodywork possibly rubbing on the tyre. But John Powell is still leading Division 2. Now, how far behind is Cole? No, he's dropped behind Neil Yates. Yeah, I think there's a tyre going down on John Powell's truck, but he'll try and get it to the finish. Paul Rivett is in with a chance here, though. Less than a minute on the clock, so Ryan Smith is all set to win this. He's 7.5 seconds clear of Jenkins, but it's all about this fight in Division 2. I thought they were both going to go into the gravel. There's contact again, and off goes Powell. Now, was that because he was slow off the corner, or did Paul Rivett try and force the issue? But whatever, John Powell has gone. You saw his tyre was going down there, so that's why he'd slowed up. Well, we've got the first bit of controversy of the season. Now, Ryan Smith coming up on Simon Cole. Cole has hit something. You can see he's got a bit of bodywork missing. He's up to second in Division 2. He's moving over to let Ryan Smith through, who's going to be going through onto his last lap this time. He's just lapped Tom O'Rourke as well. Well, it didn't take long for everything to kick off again, did it? Over the line goes Ryan Smith to start his final lap. Just a few seconds left there. We were waiting to see if the checkered flag was going to go out that time, but he was just a few seconds too early. Ryan Smith is heading for victory, as he always seems to in the first race of the season, as he heads into his quest for that 9th consecutive Division 1 title. The gap has closed a little because of Ryan dealing with those back markers. David Jenkins got the gap down to 5.3 seconds, but he's not going to get close enough on this final lap. Now, Paul Rivett leading Division 2. There's Simon Cole still going. John Powell, I think, is out of it. It's going to be a win for Flying Ryan. Here comes the Northside Truck and Van Daimler Freightliner. Takes it easy through the final corner. And starting once again, as he means to go on, as he looks for that 9th title, Ryan Smith comes in to take the victory. Well, the clock's counted down to 0. I don't see a checkered flag there, but the checkered flag has come up on the timing screen. So Ryan Smith takes it. Second place is going to go to David Jenkins, 6 seconds further back. And in third position, it should be Michael Oliver ahead of Stuart Oliver. Oh, the checkered flag should be at that gantry on the pit straight. I'm not sure why there's no checkered flag there. So the Olivers third and fourth, Michael ahead of Stewart. John Bowler is fifth, Stephen Powell sixth. It'll be David Smith in seventh. John Powell is going to make it over the line. He crawls across the line with a flat rear tyre. He'll be a couple of laps down though. David Smith is seventh, and in Division 2 it's going to be Paul Rivets. Crosses the line to take the victory. In 8th place overall. 9th is Neil Yates. A lap down in 10th after a spin is Tom O'Rourke. Simon Cole a lap down in 11th. He'll be second in Division 2. And John Powell 2 laps down, the final finisher. So provisional result then, Ryan Smith the winner by just over 6 seconds ahead of David Jenkins, and they were way ahead of third place Michael Oliver, 13 seconds exactly in fact. Stuart Oliver was fourth, good run through past Stephen Powell and John Bowler, John taking fifth. David Smith on his return takes seventh, Paul Rivette in eighth, a rather controversial victory in Division 2. Then Neil Yates and Tom O'Rourke finishing completing the finishers in Division 1. Simon Cole second in Division 2, and John Powell 2 laps down with damage after that contact with Paul Rivett. First day back at school then, certainly for the British Truck Racing Championship. Well done to their drivers. Ryan Smith got the fastest lap, 58.524 seconds, average of 75 miles per hour around the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. Is it going to be another season of dominance for Flying Ryan? Will his rivals bounce back? Well, shortly we'll be able to hand down to Parc Ferme for a chat to the drivers with our very own Pointy down on the ground. But certainly plenty of entertainment there. We're going to go into our lunch break next, and then we'll have qualifying for the Junior Saloon Car Championship. So we're going to resume a little later this afternoon. The next race due off at around 3 p.m, which is the MG Owners Club Championship, supported by Lancaster Insurance. MG's classic and modern in that race, always an entertaining and very friendly championship. Let's see what Pointy's up to down in Parc Ferme.
Keep it, hold it, hold it, hold it.
Boom.
Boom! Congratulations! Absolutely fantastic result. Michael Oliver, a brilliant qualifying, brilliant pace. I mean, we saw you on the heels of John Bowler that whole first half of the race, and then you sailed past him. Phenomenal driving.
Phenomenal driving.
Phenomenal driving.
Phenomenal driving.
No walls, no gravel pits. I mean, you know, at least you got one out of the season, right?
I've never ever done this on a Saturday. I don't know, what's this? What do I do?
And how much rebuilding have you got to do to the truck when we go back in?
There's all of nothing to do, baby!
Oh, I mean, what a way to start the season. Beautiful new livery. We've got gold on the grille now as well. 50 years of Martin Oliver Transport. And of course, to start the season with a trophy. I mean, Dad almost got you, but he was still a couple of seconds behind.
Oh, but who got the fastest lap out of me and Daddy? I believe it was Michael. Hey!
Absolutely phenomenal, mate. Well done to you. Congratulations. Let's quickly whiz down. Dave, have you got to be in the truck?
No,
congratulations, no. Great race.
Yeah, it perhaps wasn't the most exciting race, but we were late getting the deal together this winter. I've had immense support from my team, from my family and from my sponsors. So hello to everybody at home that can't be with us this weekend, especially Flossie and George, Mummy and Layla and Grandpa Tone that's at home watching. So yeah, I'm really pleased. If you'd said to me 5 weeks ago that we'd be finishing P2 here at Brands, I didn't think we were even going to be here. So we are going to take the fight to Ryan this year. We just need a bit more time.
Flame lit under the belly of Dave Jenkins. Thank you very much. Right, that's all we've got time for down here in the pit lane. But tune back in shortly where we'll be down in Parc Ferme talking to the drivers in a slightly quieter atmosphere, and we'll have some trophies for you as well over the lunch break. See you very soon.